Good morning, sir. My name is Kokai. My matrix number is 211220544. Today I will present about the chapter 1. The research title is Leadership Effect Job Satisfaction Among School Leaders in Malaysia. The studies of causal relationship between leadership and job satisfaction have been reported. The leadership style affects performance through job satisfaction. This means that if the leadership style is good, then job satisfaction and performance will improve and increase. According to Robbins and Judge 2014, leadership is a process influencing the activities of an individual or an organization towards the achievement of organization goals and objectives. The purpose statement of the study is to determine the leadership effect job satisfaction among school leaders in Malaysia. In the study, the positive correlation was found between leadership and job satisfaction. It conducted a research to determine the effect of autocratic and democratic leadership style on job satisfaction. After conducting the researchers showed that the leadership style created a positive impact on job satisfaction among the employees. The study is aimed to estimate the effect of leadership style on job satisfaction and understand if supposed organization politics have an intermediation role or not. This research aimed to discuss on job satisfaction cannot be separate from the factors that can affect employee job satisfaction. Research objectives divide into two parts. There are general objective and specific objective. The general objective is to determine the correlation between the leadership and the job satisfaction in Malaysia. The specific objective is to investigate the relationship between the school leaders and the job satisfaction in Malaysia. Second is to determine the relationship between the communication and the job satisfaction in Malaysia. The third is to study the relationship between the motivation and the job satisfaction in Malaysia. The following part is research question. How does leadership affect job satisfaction among schools in Malaysia? First, is school leaders will have effect on job satisfaction. Second, is communication will have effect on job satisfaction. Third, is motivation will have effect on job satisfaction. The significance of study is so extremely important for a leadership effect job satisfaction among school leaders in Malaysia. The study aims to estimate the effect of leadership style on job satisfaction and understand it. The finding of the research relevant that transformational leadership have positive influence on job satisfaction while transactional leadership have negative influence on job satisfaction. The scope of research is at Sungai Petani Kedah. The target respondents are 50 people from Sungai Petani Kedah.
Hi sir, I'm going to start my presentation on chapter 2. For literature review, Reimer mentioned that leadership can conduct the ability of followers in achieving the same target. A good leadership will guide to a high level of motivation on job performance among employees. A leader with good communication skills can make big decisions to help people finish their work. An effective communication of school leader can create a harmonious workplace to enhance the happiness of employees, and it can increase the number of leaders followers. Although there are many studies, the research in leadership communication and motivation effect job satisfaction among school leaders remains limited in Malaysia. Every different leadership style might cause different effect on job satisfaction, and there is negative impact between international leadership and job satisfaction because an unmotivated work environment, indifferent to employee needs, and an unfair rewards and punishment system reduce job satisfaction. Dependent variable in this paper is job satisfaction. Job satisfaction is an emotional response of an individual towards their current job. Next, independent variables are leadership, communication, motivation, and school leader. Leadership is a process that influences employee behavior, while the communication can be defined as gaining information from one party to other parties. The terms of motivation can be defined as inspire, motivate, guide, and the process of sustained behavior and performance. School leader plays a role in creating a vibrant learning community. The linkage between dependent variable and independent variable. Leadership, communication, and motivation are what people expect will influence job satisfaction. Job satisfaction is what happens as a result of the leadership, communication, and motivation among school leaders. While in theory, achievement of high job satisfaction is driven by leader-led individual team. There is no specific effective leadership style, ways, or communication and motivation can be applied for all the followers among school leaders. The diagram or conceptual framework as shown as above is illustrated the association between independent variable leadership, which is leadership, communication, motivation, and school leader, and dependent variable is job satisfaction. There are 4 research hypotheses in this paper. First, there is a positive relationship between leadership and job satisfaction. Secondly, there is a positive relationship between communication and job satisfaction. Thirdly, there is a positive relationship between motivation and job satisfaction. Next, there is a positive relationship between school leader and job satisfaction. While the summary of this chapter is chapter 2 is explored the role of leadership, communication, and motivation that influence the job satisfaction among school leaders in Malaysia. Findings or differences of this study in Malaysia to give more research direction to this area. Thank you. That's all from me.
Good morning, doctor. My name is Lim Chin Kai and my mention number is 211220555. Now I am going to present Chapter 3, Methodology. Firstly is research design. The type of our research design is exploratory research. We choose this research because it can explore the leadership's effects on job satisfaction among school leaders in Malaysia. The second one is quantitative research method. This method is to obtain response from respondents because it is evaluate and produce more objective results. The purpose of our research is to identify the leadership, communication, and motivation that would affect job satisfaction among school leaders in Malaysia. Besides, the type of sampling design consists of target population, sampling technical convenience, and sampling size. Our target population is school leaders who are working in the school around Sungai Petani, Kedah. Besides, we choose sampling technical convenience as one of the technical because it is able to collect 35 complete questionnaires from the respondents in short period of time. The next one is sampling size. We set our sampling size as 50. We also must have data collection in our research. The type of data collection consists of primary data and secondary data. Primary data consists of quantitative data collection method, which researchers distribute complete questionnaire to target respondents. Besides, our secondary data consists of online database such as Science Direct and ResearchGate, published journals, and published statistics from the internet. Next, we go to measurement of the variables. The origin of construct in the table must have variables adopted from, adapted from, and lastly is number of questions taken. The origin of construct consists of leadership, school leader, communication, motivation, and job satisfaction in our research. The second measurement of the variables is modified operational definition of construct. The table must consist number question, measurement, order, modification, and remarks. There are 5 types of modified operational definition of construct, which consists leadership, school leader, communication, motivation, and lastly is job satisfaction. As well, we also have 4 types of data analysis for using in our research. The first one is descriptive analysis. This analysis is to calculate frequency distribution and percentage distribution of the demographic information. Secondly is skill measurement. The aim is to calculate reliability tests of coefficient alpha using SPSS. The table below shows the rule of thumb for Cobra alpha coefficient value. The third data analysis is person correlation coefficient analysis. It is to measure the correlation and association between job satisfaction and 4 elements: leadership, school leader, communication, and motivation on hypothesis 1, 2, 3, and 4. The last analysis is multiple linear regression analysis. Independent variables leadership, school leader, communication, and motivation are entered into the same regression equation to predict whether there is any significant relationship with job satisfaction. Last but not least, we come to the summary of Chapter 3. In overall, researchers have learned the way of obtaining respondents' data with questionnaire methods to investigate the problem which is not clearly defined. Secondly, sampling design needs to be planned well to get selected target population, sampling method, and sampling size. Data collection is helpful to analyze accurate insights for research. Questions have been given according to research title. Lastly, suitable data analysis is important to calculate data easier in our research. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Hiu Tai Fung. I'm from 21C. I'm going to present about the chapter 4. First, I'm going to present about 4.1 descriptive analysis, which is the response rate among our respondents. Table 4.1 shows us that our respondents are mostly from 21 until 24 years old, and there are no any respondent is from 25 years old and above. Table 4.2 shows us that mostly our respondents are female and there are only 7% is male in our respondents. Next, table 4.3 race shows us that mostly our respondents is Chinese and there are 3 respondents are from Malay and also 1 person from India. Next, table 4.4 education level shows us that there are mostly our respondents are in bachelor's degree and there are no any master level among our respondents. Lastly, table 4.5 shows us that there are most of our respondents are in year 2 and there are only 1 respondents are in year 4. Next, I'm going to present about 4.2, which is reliability analysis in chapter 4. There are Coimbra alpha that shows in the table of reliability analysis for all variables in our article. In this 4.2 reliability analysis, Coimbra alpha is a measure that we use to assess the reliability or internal consistency of a set of scale or test items. It is most used for the Likert questions in a questionnaire that form a scale which to determine if the scale was reliable. It is suggested that an acceptable level of coefficient alpha to retain an item in a scale is at least on 0.7 score. All of items presented the acceptable level of coefficient and can be used for the further analysis. In this 4.2 reliability analysis, the reliability results presented that Coimbra alpha of leadership, school leader, communication, motivation, and also job satisfaction is 0.709, 0.776, 0.806, and 0.792 and also last is 0.8262 respectively. Next, I'm going to present about 4.3 inferential analysis. In this 4.7 table shows us that person's correlation coefficient analysis for our articles. Person correlation between leadership, school leader, communication, motivation, and also job satisfaction shows us that bivariate relationship between all variables. Next, table 4.8 shows that our multiple linear regression analysis in our article. R-square for this model is 0.725. This means that 72.5% of the variation-dependent variable job satisfaction can be explained by the 4 independent variables in our article, which are leadership, school leader, communication, and also motivation. Besides that, 0.689 of ADJ R-square indicates that the 4 independent variables, which are leadership, school leader, communication, and also motivation, are adding 68.9% of value to this model. Next, the value of F is equals to 14.236 with a p-value 0.05 more than 0.00 significant levels. This means that the overall regression model for these 4 predictors has significantly explained the variation in job satisfaction. As indicated in table 4.8, there was a significant effect of leadership on job satisfaction. The same result is presented for the significant effect of school leader on job satisfaction. In this chapter 4 conclusion, there are a lot of methods that we use to analyze our data after we collect the data from the Google form. Next, we have also calculated and explained well in our research to make sure that the reader will know and understands well the research of our article. We hope that those of the methods can help us in our future research well. Thank you.
Good morning, lecturer. My name is Tan Wijay, and today I'm going to present topic 5, which is discussion, recommendation, and conclusion. For the table, we can see that there are 4 hypotheses, which is leadership, communication, motivation, and school leader. There is significant relation between leadership and job satisfaction. The cohesion coefficient between the leadership and job satisfaction are 0.482, which is p-value 0.00 smaller than 0.01. Thus, the hypothesis 1 is accepted. There is moderate positive relationship between the communication and job certification. A school leader that has a good leadership skills will bring a positive impact to job certification. For number 2 is communication. There is a significant relationship between the communication and job certification. The correlation coefficient between communication and job certification is 0.405 with the p-value of 0.00 smaller than 0.01. Thus, hypothesis 2 is accepted. There is a moderate positive relationship between the communication and job certification. A school leader that have a good communication skills will bring positive impact to job certification. And same to the motivation and school leaders. They also have the p-value which is 0.00 smaller than 0.01. Thus, all the hypotheses are accepted. Next is the research implication. A theoretical implication would be that the theory is suitable for explaining and understanding the phenomena that we investigate. The theory they may be suitable for studying the specific population that we studied. For the practical implication is the reality that would occur if certain conditions were fulfilled. An instance is when analysts conduct behavioral experiments, the reliability of the data they collect would have practical implications on how clinicians accurately determine the effectiveness of specific behavioral remedies. For the research limitation, there are two limitations, which is geographic limitation and time constraints. For the geographic limitation, there are a lot of school leaders in Malaysia, thus we cannot do the research by using face-to-face. It becomes difficult for us as a researchers to observe, debate, or exchange the ideas due to lack of communication and to do research in person, which is a better approach to prevent misunderstanding. For the time constraints, this study only taking consideration of leadership effects job certification in Sungai Petani. The time available to study a research problem and to measure change over time might be a constraint by such practical issues. If time constraint negatively impacted our study in any way, acknowledge this impact by mentioning a need for future study. For the recommendation of future research, this should give the respondent enough time to fill up the form. It will be a good preparing and there won't be a need to hustle. The next stage is to improve the research data and indeed the survey paper. As an example, we may attempt to simplify the phrasing of survey so that they become easier to understand and easily understood by the people in general. As a conclusion, this study has provided leadership effects job certification among school leaders in Malaysia. This study found that all four variables, which is leadership, school leaders, motivation, and communication, testers show significantly affect the job certification. The result was successful leadership, job certification, school leaders, motivation, and communication in the hierarchy in connected. The result shows that transformational leadership has a positive influence on job certification while transaction leadership have a negative influence on job certification. Thank you.